Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Syracuse Unpeeled. I'm Rebecie.
And I'm Sean Onwualu, and tonight we'll be discussing the ongoing NFL protests
and CBS's latest leadership change.
And we'll also give you full coverage on homecoming weekend.
A reboot of a Halloween classic is breaking box office records. The 2018 version of the 1978 classic, Halloween, brought in over $77 million during its opening weekend. This is the biggest debut ever for a horror film with a female lead, and the biggest debut ever for a film with a female lead over 55 years old.
That leading lady is Jamie Lee Curtis, who replays her old role as Laurie Strode from the first movie. Lee Curtis posted on Twitter about the successful debut, including a picture with the two other actresses from the movie. She also added the hashtag Women Getting Things Done on said picture.
Yes, oh my goodness, I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and Women Getting Things Done is such a great hashtag.
It's a phenomenal hashtag.
So the movie came in with 77.5 million debut this weekend, which is absolutely
phenomenal.
Insane.
Did you get a chance to watch the movie? I didn't. But
I didn't, but I'm definitely going to see it this weekend with my friends. My friends hate horror movies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big horror movie kind of guy. And
they're so exciting. One of my friends literally has a whole collection of like all the Halloween movie, like the masks and everything.
That's a little creepy.
And okay, so speaking of that, this movie topped the worldwide debut with $91.8 million of revenue coming in, and it topped Rob Zombie's Halloween movie of $80 million previously as a global top worldwide.
Maybe I should take a break and watch this horror movie.
Yes, you should really get to it because it's super popular.
All right, well, I'll consider it. I'll consider it. Not committed, but I'll consider it. But after weeks of speculation, comedian Amy Schumer announced this Monday via Instagram that she and her husband, Chris Fisher, are expecting their first child. She made the announcement on the Instagram story of her close friend and journalist, Jessica Yellen.
Schumer listed her preferred candidates in the upcoming midterm elections before revealing she was pregnant at the end of the message. Schumer had hinted at a potential pregnancy on Instagram earlier this week with a photo of her and Fisher's faces photoshopped over Prince Harry and the now pregnant Meghan Markle with a promise of exciting news to come.
Yeah, so Amy Schumer, the always political and always
lovable.
Yeah, lovable. She obviously made her pregnancy political, which
honestly, this is surprising. Usually, you see pregnancies like on Instagram, like they post like their wedding rings together and like holding the child or like something going on like that. But she just goes straight to it, and she promoted her friend's account, which I thought was super interesting. That she was like, "Oh, we're gonna put our Photoshop faces on like Meghan and Harry, but then hop over to my friend's account and see where it's at." Because her friend is actually a very political activist as well, and talks about all the things going on her account with midterm elections.
Yeah. I think that's a very Amy Schumer thing to do, though. Like, she's always going to speak her mind and stand up for what she believes in. And I think using her pregnancy as to further do that goal is right up Amy Schumer's alley.
It's definitely a classic Schumer move. And in more Schumer news, the comedian is taking a step away from the 2019 Super Bowl and will not appear in any commercials set to air during the broadcast. She shared the announcement on Instagram after word spread that Rihanna turned down an invite to perform at the halftime show.
Both are reportedly protesting the NFL due to their treatment of former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Their decision to step away from any affiliation with the Super Bowl could have ripple effects on other stars.
Well, Schumer gets political once again.
Exactly.
She told her reps on Instagram saying, "I don't want to appear in any commercials." And they're listening, and she was really inspired by Rihanna.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised if things like this keep happening, because I know there's a lot of prominent celebrities and singers who have in the past stood with Colin Kaepernick. So I feel like if the NFL doesn't say something or do something, they might have a hard time finding people.
And Schumer's Instagram post, she even called out Maroon 5, and she'd be like, it'd be lit if you guys would, take a step back and back out just like Rihanna did. But it's not confirmed yet that Maroon 5 is going to be the halftime show, but it's circulating.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more people who take a stand, the better for Kaepernick, because it's a big issue that's been happening in the NFL, and NFL kind of hasn't had to deal with it recently, so it's nice for that to pop up. But,
stars clapping back, definitely.
Yeah, but on the field, there was some more drama surrounding this. Carolina Panthers safety Eric Reed and Kaepernick's former teammate went after Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins before the game. And after the game, they asked him about it, and apparently, he was mad that Eric Reed believes that Malcolm Jenkins was using the whole Kaepernick protest to further promote his own organization and not the actual cause. So this is a very prominent issue on and off the field.
Shots fired! Oh my goodness.
I mean, I guess we'll have to see as the season goes on, what happens with all this. But it's definitely something to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, stay tuned, Unpeelers. Welcome back, Unpeelers. The NBA is changing the game for elite high school basketball prospects. On Thursday, the league announced that its developmental G League will be awarding contracts to high school basketball stars. These students will get the chance to bypass a year of college ball and play professionally right away. Here to tell us more is our sports reporter, Chris Sachi. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. And yeah, this is pretty big for the NBA. It's been the status quo for a long time. Has been top prospects, they go immediately into college basketball. They go one and done. They play one season, then boom, they're right in the NBA. But now the G League is offering a contract of $125,000 instead of, so it's kind of shirking the NCAA, and instead of having the benefits of college basketball, which are evident. There's bigger crowds. Everyone's more excited for a regular season NCAA game than any G League playoff game or even the championship. Easily. There are benefits to both, but I think the guaranteed money is really big here. We see that $125,000 is not meager sum.
Yeah. So do you think this will become the norm for players to get into the NBA?
I'm a little skeptical. Until some players make the leap, and it's not for this upcoming season, it's for the season after 2019, 2020. Until players really make the leap and start actually doing it, I'm a little skeptical, because the way that the status quo right now is so strong. But there are certainly benefits to both. I explained the NCAA benefits, but the G League, guaranteed salary, professional coaches, and it's constant basketball. When you think about the NCAA and college basketball, you're a student athlete. Yeah. Players go into class.
Yeah, you got to deal with the class, and then you got to block out time for sports. So I definitely understand that.
So talking about class and everything, how does this affect the Syracuse basketball team? Like here on this campus, what's going to happen there?
So all of us, we know the Darius Baisley story. And if you're unfamiliar, 5-star recruit committed to Syracuse basketball and then decommitted from the program in favor of the NBA G League. And this was before the select contract. So pay was only at $25,000. But when Baisley made that decision, and he's since decommitted from the G League altogether, he's just training, he's doing his own thing. But since that decision was made by Baisley, he was the first one to offer a different path, blaze his own trail to try to get the NBA. So I think this, you're talking about Syracuse basketball. I mean, of course, we had the Baisley situation, but it'll affect us and other programs. I mean, big college players, if they're going right to the G League, they're not going to UNC. They're not going to Duke. They're not going to Kansas, Kentucky. They're going right to the G League. So I think it could, if players do make the leap, I think it'll all become in a huge wave, and that could really change college basketball. The top players will not be in the NCAA.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell at this point. But to continue on, actress Selma Blair revealed that she has multiple sclerosis. Blair was experiencing symptoms of the disease like memory loss for the past few years before her being diagnosed in August. In an Instagram post, she thanks her friends, family, co-stars, and producers for being so understanding. Here to tell us more about her diagnosis and what it means, our film reporter, Patrick Gunn. Patrick, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Yeah, and in her lengthy Instagram post, she said that she feels like she's had symptoms of this disease for 15 years. That's a long time to go through suffering with this disease without coming out. So it's a great thing that she's coming out, and she's going to keep acting. She's going to keep working with Netflix. She actually thanked Netflix, her producers, in her post because they were being so kind. They were very offering for her. So it was been a pretty good process so far.
So how is she responding to the diagnosis? Is she like so you said she's going to continue acting. Like, what else is she doing? Like, what does this mean for her when she's like reflecting back?
Well, for her, it means she wants to be more of an inspiration to people. She wants to prove to people that other people with MS can go out and still do things like acting, like being a force in the community, doing good. That's really what her goal is with this, and she really just wants to give you inspiration. That's what she said in her post. She wants to prove to people that it can be done.
Oh, I love that.
So to kind of backtrack here, can you explain to us what exactly is multiple sclerosis?
Well, multiple sclerosis is a central nervous system disease. It affects the brain and the spinal cord, mainly the brain connections and just the communication between this. And the cause of it is unknown, but it's believed to involve genetic susceptibility and environmental issues. And the symptoms, unfortunately, they vary from person to person, but some include dizziness, difficulty walking, and just anxiety.
So I'm thinking that this will help to raise more awareness. Do you think, like for the cause? Because I feel like it's something that's not super well known among like especially the college community.
I think it really is something that will raise awareness. People at least will know how common it is. About 1 million other people in the U.S. alone have MS, and it's 3 times more common in women than it is in men. So it's a pretty common disorder. Hopefully, as Selma said, she's going to raise awareness for this disorder and make people more aware and make people realize they can keep going with this difficult disease.
Yeah, so hopefully Blair's wishes come true, and we here at Unpeeled wish her the best. But up next, we will get the full scoop on Anthony Porowski's visit to Syracuse.
And later, we'll take a look at the homecoming tailgate, so stick around, Unpeelers.
Gear up, guys.
A year of turmoil at CBS took another big hit on Sunday as interim CEO Richard Parsons resigned due to health reasons. Parsons' resignation comes just 1 month after stepping in for former President Leslie Moonves, who recently came under fire for sexual misconduct allegations. Joining us now is our TV reporter, Andrew Goldberg. Andrew, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Sean. And yes, CBS is definitely in a very tough spot right now. Just 1 month after Leslie Moonves' resignation back in September, Richard Parsons was supposed to step in and really be everything that Moonves wasn't, a calm, reassuring figure that wasn't going to be a distraction. Now, unfortunately, Parsons was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer, so he was kind of forced to step away. But either way, CBS is now firmly back in the spotlight.
So where does the CBS go from here when it comes to finding a new leader?
Right, and normally this would be like a very long process, but I think CBS already knew, based on Parsons' diagnosis, that they would need to appoint a new leader at some point. So they stepped up and hired former CEO Strauss Zelnick to take over, and I actually think this is a pretty smart move. Zelnick has a lot of business experience, and he was also a former CEO for a very successful video game company. And between the combined experiences in the business world and as being a leader, I think he'll be properly prepared to face the challenges that CBS has to deal with coming up.
So you make it sound like they're in good shape. Do you think CBS will be able to withstand this turnover?
Right, well, I am optimistic. I mean, yes, CBS has had to deal with a lot of problems recently, but the good news is they've been very proactive in dealing with some of their flaws. They've donated a large amount of money to the Me Too Foundation in the wake of Leslie Moonves allegations. And luckily for them, they have a really good slate coming up. It's the final season of The Big Bang Theory, which for years has been their #1 show. And coming back around, CBS is actually getting the Super Bowl this year, and the Super Bowl always draws viewers, so I think they'll be in pretty good shape going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see companies like this being able to bounce back from hardship or tragedy. I mean, CBS is one of those big companies, so it's glad to see that they're able to stick around and stay on their feet.
And they're finding their new way, definitely. They've really kind of adapted to this whole crisis that
it's not easy,
that's been bestowed upon them.
But I think they'll make it through.
Yeah,
easy,
I think,
easy.
yeah.
So in other entertainment news, Queer Eye star Anthony Porowski paid Syracuse a visit this past weekend for the annual Orange Central Homecoming Comedy Show. He put his culinary skills to good use by teaching an auditorium full of college students how to prepare a fresh farm salad. Porowski also revealed to the families in the crowd the importance of being able to cook. Andrew, you got the golden opportunity to see his performance last weekend. What can you tell us about it?
Well, I actually think Anthony Porowski's Syracuse debut is a big success. From the start of the show, he was very engaging, very personable. He interacted well with the crowd. He gave a big shout out to SU football after a big victory. And he was able to make a salad on stage, which I think the crowd got a big kick out of. I don't think they were expecting that.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Like I saw like so many Snapchats of like the event that was going on, and I love Queer Eye. It's one of my favorites. So what more can you tell about his performance that went on at Syracuse?
So obviously the salad was a real highlight of the show, but I thought it was more interesting once he got into the question and answer segment part of the show, because once he was able to start talking about his experience on the show Queer Eye, which is a very successful show, he sort of talked about the high profile giving him the chance to expand his confidence and show a little bit more of his sensitive side, because he talked about how growing up he was always a little self-conscious about these characteristics, but because the show has done so well, because it's been successful and he's been able to raise his profile, he now feels more comfortable in his own body and more comfortable being confident with his friends and his social interactions.
Yeah, within that kind of introspective dive, did Anthony have anything to say about his experience on Queer Eye?
Well, he talked about his interactions with the other members of the Fab Five, and they each sort of taught him a little bit about himself and becoming a better person. And I thought a real highlight of the show happened at the end when he was talking about, after the dust sort of settled and he was able to talk with his father, and his father finally praised him for the good work that he's been doing on the show and the success that he's had. And that really hit home for him, because he said his father wasn't always one to give out praise, and it really sort of let him know that, all right, I've done something good. I think I've made it.
I love that so much. So in your opinion, what was the highlight of the night?
Well, I think that moment was one of the big highlights. It happened at the very end, and it was kind of an emotional moment for him. And he used that bit of information to sort of talk about his advice to the crowd, which was, there's a lot of negativity going on in the world right now. So say something nice to someone every day. Let them know that you care about them. And I think that's a really great sentiment. I mean, like you said, not some bad stuff going on right now, but also a lot of good in the world. And I think bring that out of people is really worth doing.
Great positive note to really end on.
I love that, So after the break, we'll take a look at SU's first annual Q's Kickback. Please stay tuned. Sorry, today.
With more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Last week, our campus events reporter, Justin Pora, went to SU's first annual Q's Kickback in Walnut Park. So let's take a look.
For Phi Sigma Sigma and SU's Athletics Q's Kickback. Come join me. Yeah. You helped kind of create this event with Phi Sig for Autothon, so can you just tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so last semester we started working with Brett and Corey, who work for the SU Athletics Marketing Department, because they wanted to bring more people into football games. And we thought that like using Greek life was a good way to get higher attendance at the games.
What are you doing here at Autothon? I mean, yes, of course, there's raising money, so what brings you here today?
Dude, kicking it back, hanging with the girls, having a good time.
Good, man. And homecoming this weekend, getting you hyped up for it a little bit. Big game tomorrow.
Oh, dude, huge game. Must win.
Must win is right. A lot of good food here at Q's Kickback. How's the pizza treating you?
I would say the pizza's pretty good. You know, it's a little cold, but it's fine. You know, hey, it's free, right?
How's the experience been at Q's Kickback so far?
It's been an awesome experience. You know, just being able to see the community come together like this, supporting a good cause for Autothon. Like, you know, it's a great thing. Yeah.
What does this event do for Autothon?
So this is the first event as far as like SU Athletics, Phi Sig putting this together, and basically all of the proceeds from the Pride event will be going straight to Autothon.
Have just like a really fun, inclusive event we thought could be like great for everyone.
Yeah, and you got not only a bunch of Greek organizations coming here, you also got some football players, a little bit of everybody, and that's gonna sting.
Seems like you had a lot of fun there at the Q's Kickback. What can you tell us about, you know, actually being there? How was like the crowd and all that?
It was great. I mean, the environment was really good. It was the first annual event, and not only that, it kind of opened up homecoming weekend, which is obviously a very exciting weekend here on campus. There were a lot of people there, and it seemed like everyone had a really good time, including myself.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like there was the kind of scene there. You know, it was in a good spot. You know, people could walk by. You know, parents and stuff that were parking elsewhere and all that stuff. I think it was in a really good location, and it's always nice to see a solid turnout like that at a first annual event.
I would agree, and they made a lot of references to Greek life. It wasn't just Greek life people there; it was everyone in the community, and everyone just had a great time.
Yeah, we saw the person from Autothon there representing.
Right,
so it's always nice to have things like that in the community. But when we come back, Chris Hachi will give us a recap of last weekend's tailgate, and you don't want to miss that on Peelers.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back. Over the weekend, our sports reporter, Chris Sachi, went to homecoming tailgate before the game against UNC.
So let's check it out.
Hey, Peelers, Chris Sachi here on at the Orange Stencils Tailgate right here on the quad. We'll be talking to everybody about their thoughts on the game, Dungy and the boys getting their 5th win of the season, and how they feel about Alumni Weekend and Homecoming Weekend. Let's take a closer look here on Syracuse Unpeeled. Can you kind of feel it in the air? You know, the weather's nice, the leaves are falling a little bit. This is really the climax of football season here in Homecoming Weekend.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I mean, this is definitely the pinnacle of Syracuse football here on the quad.
Yeah, compared to this week, it's been brutally cold. This weekend's been nice. It's been sunny. It's warm. Like, I want to put my sweatshirt, but yeah, dude, it's game day. It's game day.
It's a beautiful day out, baby. It's game day, baby.
Honestly, the energy here is absolutely great. The campus is beautiful.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, everybody's just going out and around. Everybody's in orange. It's just great seeing everybody walking around.
I love it. It's so nice. Everyone loves Syracuse. There's so much pride.
You think Dungy and the boys can pull out their 5th dub of the season?
I think they can do it. You know, we've been underrated for a while now. We've had a few years of recruiting in the ACC. We're in the game, beating good teams, playing good football. So excited to see this game right here.
I think we're ready for a dub against our big rivals, new ACC rivals. We're up for a big W right now.
I think we got a good chance. You know, I think it's another big ACC matchup. Last week we had a tough one, or 2 weeks ago we had a tough one against Pitt. But I think this is one we rally and we get the win for the boys today.
After that loss against Clemson, I think guys they gained a bit of confidence, and this one's going to be a great one.
Yeah. North Carolina isn't that good. I think we got it today.
We're in Pittsburgh last game, and we're ready to get back on track. It should be a good game for the Cuse.
We're going to take this dub today. We're taking the dub.
From a scale of 1 to 10 on how much you really bleed orange, how much are you saying?
10!
800.
Just 10, straight 10s all around. Every year we were here.
I mean, it's like 100% orange in my blood, to be honest.
All right, well, the energy here on the quad was fantastic. Everyone bleeding orange, and Homecoming Weekend. It looks like everyone had a great time. I'm about to head into the game, but for Syracuse Unpeeled, I'm Chris Sachi. Thanks for listening in.
So, looked like you had a blast there covering the tailgate.
That was hype. I feel empowered. You hear all that positivity, 810, like we're on the comeback. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's Syracuse. Can you tell us a little bit? I know we watched the package and everything, but tell us a little bit more about, like, you know, actually being there and actually feeling it.
Oh, I mean, it's fantastic. You know, Syracuse has got one of the best fan bases in all of America, really, and it was on full display in that package. You know, people, 800, how much they bleed orange. I mean, everyone had a great time. The weather was nice, too, which is really, which was a huge boon.
Come by here.
Beautiful day.
Exactly. And with the influx of the alumni, too, there was a little bit more perspective and some different age groups than maybe you'd normally see at some tailgates. So it was just really great. I mean, everyone from all different ages, from whether they still go here, whether they don't go here yet, or they went here in the past, they all had a great time. They all had that Q spirit.
I love seeing all of the alumni, like a bunch of my friends that graduated last year. Like, it was so nice seeing them back, and they were so excited for the game. They sported on their Syracuse gear, like, one more time, or hopefully many more times they'll come back again. It was so much fun. Like, I don't know, what about you? Did you
that's one of my favorite things about this weekend. There's, you know, people from the class of 87, 67, 2000, you know, they just want to come up to you and talk to you about your Syracuse experience. And I don't know, I spent the whole weekend, like, bumping into people and, like, comparing Syracuse experiences. It's really a great time because once you're in orange for life is what I've seen. So it's always great to see.
I want to be coming back, and I want to see both of you coming back too, sporting the tailgate. You know?
I mean, I'm from California, so it might be a little harder, but I mean, you know, I have a little room for snow in my heart. I mean, these people,
look how much they have, look how much they bleed orange. You got to make an effort.
Yeah, easily. So, unfortunately, that's all we have time for tonight. I'm Sean Onwualu.
And I'm Rebetje, and tune in next week for our Halloween special.
Have a great night, Syracuse.
Mm.